What up, HoopSpaces? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Wizards Weekly with your host, Justin. If you haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe on the channel. Tons of great content across the league, especially as you ramp up into the playoffs. You're going to want to pay attention to all the stuff coming out for that. If you're looking for more Wizards-specific content, especially throughout the season, head to my channel at Point Wizards. That's on YouTube and Twitter. Give us a follow. Game threads and other Wizards content throughout the season again. But for now, let's go ahead and talk about this last week of Wizards basketball and what was it? So coming into this week, I had the Wizards predicted the Wizards going 1-3, win against the Rockets, and a loss to the Miami Heat, the Milwaukee Bucks, and Atlanta Falcons. The Wizards did go 1-3. However, the win was against the Heat, and they actually ended up losing to the Hawks, thankfully. So ultimately, this leaves the Wizards with the 7th odds of getting the number 1 pick. They're currently in 7th, and like in a month, they really find out what the future holds for them. So yeah, overall, Big Three did not play this week just because they've been out for a while, wrapping up for the season. The Wizards are, stealth tanking. So they sat, and really it was a week of basketball where you got to see the kids get some moments to shine. There's Johnny Davis, there's Jordan Goodwin, there's Gafford, there's Kispert, and other guys. I would say, just to highlight a few guys, Daniel Gafford first, averaged 20 and 8 this past week, a couple of assists, a block per game. He was a menace against the Rockets, and against teams that don't rebound well or don't have a guy who's going to box out. He is going to feast just with his size, his athleticism, his touch around the rim. Just looked very dominant this week, especially against the Rockets. Showed off a little bit of his mid-range game, so that was encouraging to see. Didn't really know he had it, but he had some nice 12-footer, just in spot-up shots, and it was encouraging to see. Would have been nice to see earlier this season, when the Wizards were actually trying to win, that he actually had some range, because that probably helps with some of the spacing when you start your two bigs. But for some reason, they wait till the games don't matter to win anyway, to make the playoffs, to see if they have something there. So maybe they'll have him doing some of that next season. Maybe not. Who knows? But good end of the season for him the last week. Johnny Davis, not great shooting percentages. 37% from the field, 25% from 3, 50% from the free throw line, and honestly, the free throw percentage and the 3-point percentage do scare me some. However, it was encouraging just to see him be able to go out there with confidence. Again, he started, I think, at least 2 to 3 games this past week. Was able to get some opportunities, especially again against the Rockets, last game of the season, and the Miami Heat, where he would get the ball in the half court and be able to dribble to get to his shot, whether it was a little push shot in the middle of the lane, whether it was like a 16-footer, just right inside the arc, 16, 20. And it just pushing in transition. He had some nice transition plays, just taking it from end to end, rebound and, laying it in the hoop. Had a nice poster, I forget over who, this past week. But we had an amazing poster dunk early in one of the games, and it was amazing to see. It really was. Season was frustrating overall for him probably, but with all the things he had to deal with coming in, being a rookie, being a new dad and stuff, I just chalked that up to, unfortunate timing of growing pains. But the way he ended the season, I do think he's in camp next season, competing for rotation minutes of Corey and the rest of the guys on the bench. Speaking of Corey, got shut down a little bit in different ways this past week. Only put up 15 points, 3 rebounds this past week. He was a key player, or he's a player really the defense is key. Didn't want to try to slow him down. I suppose these past few weeks, playing with the other 3 or members of the big 3, where the focus can't really just be on him. He came in just being known as a scoring source, and whether it was Jabari Smith being switched on him after he hit a couple early threes or whatever, teams knew to take him out if they were trying to win the game, and thankfully almost all of them were. Jordan Goodwin had some opportunities to start that were very encouraging. Really interested to see if he can improve his assist-to-turnover ratio next year, as they might consider him as like the primary backup guard, depending on what else happens in that guard room. And then lastly, Isaiah Todd got to play in 2 games, really just one, the Rockets game, 45 minutes though. The shooting was atrocious, but 12 rebounds, 4 assists, solid stuff when your shot isn't falling, that you still stay engaged in the game, especially playing 45 minutes. So it's good that he has the stamina to do so, and it'll be interesting to see if he can, be in camp next year and, crack the Wizards roster significantly enough. You know what I mean? Like, if he can come in as like the third power forward next year, I think that's an encouraging sign for him and for Wizards fans that may have doubted the pick trade back in the first place, which I am one of them. So that's the Wizards season, man. 35 and 47, just as Vegas predicted again somehow. We'll talk about in future videos, just, recap of the season overall, some, likes, dislikes, maybe some grades or something. But until next time, thanks for tuning in, and, let's watch some enjoyable playoff basketball, some real basketball teams.